Good morning, everybody. I'm Mr. Shamur Murad, the teacher of linguistics at University of Mohammed Ghida, Biskra. Our lecture today is about nonverbal and verbal communication. So let's go directly to our lecture. The first thing we are going to know is communication. So communication is defined as transfer of meaning from one mind to another. It is a sharing of meaning through transmission of information via mutually understood signs. Because meanings exist in the human mind, they cannot be shared or communicated except through some external vehicle. The human body, for example, is capable of making sounds and movements which in turn can create a system of vehicles for sharing in meanings and ideas with others. In general terms, such elements that codify meaning are called signs. Science and the discipline that is concerned with the study of such signs is called semiotics. So signs are units of expression which convey meaning. Signs are also called signals or cues. Semiotics identifies three types of signs. We have icons, symbols, and indices. First, icons. An icon is a sign which physically represents what it resembles. An icon is a sign which physically resembles what it represents. A map is an icon of the geographical locality it represents. A picture of rocks following is an icon of rock slide. Uh, a very small number of words also iconic to varying degrees. Examples being such words such as take, bomb. Iconic words are known by the Greek with the term onomatopoeia. In every instance, to at least a recognizable degree, an icon actually looks or sounds like what it represents. A symbol is a sign which bears no readily recognizable physical resemblance to what it signifies. Most words in any language are simple. For instance, the word apple neither looks nor sounds like an apple. The relationship between the word simple apple and the fruit it signifies is arbitrary, established by convention, handed down by the word of mouth in a given speech community. For this reason, this fruit is signified by completely different sounds in other languages. In Mandarin Chinese, for example, it would be Bing Wu. In Cherokee, Santa. In Spanish, manzana. Now, index. Signs, icons, or symbols can also be classified according to how they are used. They may be used to point directly to what they signify, such as a country's flag as symbol or a rock slide sign as an icon. A sign which is used in direct temporal and spatial connection to what it signifies is said to be used as an index. The same sign is used with such a direct connection, such as stone stop sign leaning against the wall of a garage is non-index. The whistling sound of wind is an index of real wind, but storyteller's imitation is a non-index, used to conjure up the image of wind in a setting where there is no real wind. Now let's move to nonverbal communication. Nonverbal communication is the process of communicating through sending and receiving wordless messages. Such messages can be communicated through gesture, body posture, facial expression, and eye contact. Object communication such as clothing, hairstyles, and movement are highly communicative. Human beings can communicate with each other. We are able to exchange knowledge, beliefs, opinions, wishes, threats, commands, thanks, promises, declarations, and feelings. We can laugh to express amusement, happiness, or disrespect. We can smile to express amusement, pleasure, approval, or bitter feelings. We can shriek to express anger, excitement, or fear, etc. We can clench our fists to express determination, anger, or dread, and we can raise our eyebrows to express surprise or disapproval. Another kind of nonverbal communication is paralanguage, which refers to the vocal sounds such as murmurs, gasps, and vocal qualities such as volume, rhythm, pitch, and intonation. These vocal cues act as signals for others to interpret what we say as joke, threat, statement, question, etc. Voices can also be used to communicate feelings. For example, whispering indicates secrecy and intimacy, while shouting conveys anger. Silence can communicate powerful messages. It can communicate different meanings. For instance, it can signal awkwardness or confirm others. We deliberately ignore others when we are angry with them. Now let's move to verbal communication. Human beings communicate in lots of ways, but the most effective way of human communication is linguistic communication, i.e., that is to say, the use of language. The basic signs used in linguistic communication are words, and words are predominantly symbolic signs. Those small subset of them, onomatopoeia, which imitate the sound of the thing it refers to, are partly iconic. The linguistic signs and the rules for their combination used by community constitute a linguistic code or language. So what is language? Since linguistics is the scientific study of language, it is imperative to for linguists to know what language is. So language is a very complex human phenomena. All attempts to define it have proved inadequate. The term language can be understood better in terms of properties, its properties or characteristics. Some linguists, however, have been trying to define language in their own ways, even though all these definitions have been far from satisfactory. Here are some of these definitions. Let's take just one definition for Edward Sapir. Edward Sapir defines language as a purely human and non-instinctive method of communicating ideas, emotions, and desires by means of system of voluntarily produced symbols. 2. Speech and writing. Speech and writing are the two basic manifestations of language. As a means of communication, both the spoken and the written mediums of language are equally important. In human speech, we make use of vocal organs for the articulation of definite sounds. These sounds, when arranged according to set patterns, form the words of a given language. The written forms of a language always come later than the spoken form. The written form of a language implies the use of certain symbols for the speech sounds, while the spoken form of a word is symbol of the thing referred to by that word. The written form is the symbol of the spoken form. Therefore, the written form may be conceived as sorry, conceived of as a symbol of symbol. Language is primarily something that is spoken, not written, and the introduction of system of writing or recording thought and speech by writing was a very important step. Without it, we should be very largely ignorant of the ways and the modes of thought of our ancestors. Now, three systems of writing. The systems of writing might be categorized into pictographic or hydrographic, logographic, syllabic, and alphabetic. And this last one is most European or Semitic languages like Arabic or French or German or English, for example, are alphabetic languages. Now, the last point that we are going to tackle is functions of language. Okay, the first function of language is phatic language. It is this function is when the language is used to establish an atmosphere, or maintain social contact between the speaker and the hearer. Greetings, for example, farewells, and comments on the weather serve this function. For example, the expression such as "How do you do?" or "Ah, here you are" do not convey any meaning, but are used to establish common sentiment between the speaker and the hearer. We have also directive function. The directive function, it is in the form of imperative sentences. Informative function, it is in the form of declarative sentences. and so on and so forth. And at the end of the lecture, we have an exercise to for the students to better understand the lecture. So that's all for this lecture. Thank you for listening.
Second,